Hi, this is Tonia. Welcome back to Phenomenon. I missed you guys. Did you miss me? Well, I'm back, and I'm back with somebody great. She is a phenomenal woman. She is a leadership and empowerment coach. She's an educator. She's a speaker. She's a consultant, and she's an author. She's also going to be one of my best friends very, very soon. So I want you all to welcome Dr. Kreslyn Kelly Ellis.
Thank you. Such a blessing to be here with you today, Tonia.
Great. I want to start out with just telling them a brief history about who you are and where you came from and all of that.
Awesome. I heard a young man say one time, I'm from where I'm at. So I am in Huntsville, and I've always been in Huntsville all my life. I was born in Memphis, but raised in Huntsville my entire life by teenage parents. Grew up pretty much in poverty, and at some point, I would say we were too middle class to be poor and too poor to be middle class. All right. Which has really kind of led me into my life experience today and where I am and where I like to serve. I've worked for Teledyne Brown Engineering for 4.5 years and just didn't quite feel fulfilled, and went back to school in education and worked as a special education teacher, a curriculum specialist, and a principal, all in Title I schools, high poverty schools, because when I looked at those children, I saw myself, I saw my siblings, I saw my family, and it was always such a pleasure to serve. So I've been serving women and children now for about 20 years. I left the school system in 2009 and started my own business, where initially I was doing a lot of professional development for church schools and small businesses, and I still do a little bit of that now, focusing on leadership. But as I trained many people, I had people come up to me asking, what would it take for you to work with me one-on-one? And so then I started with coaching, life coaching and leadership coaching, and people would say, what's your niche market? And I was like, anybody that wants it, but 9 out of 10 of my clients are women. So a lot of women coaches.
Those are the best leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. So doing that, running 2 nonprofits right now, and speaking and writing and presenting and just living my life to the fullest, just trying to do everything I can before I clock out of here in the next 50 years.
Awesome. One of the questions that I have for you is from your perspective, being a leadership coach, what makes a good leader? What do you think are some of the attributes and what makes up a good leader? Man,
you know what? Authenticity is number one. If you can't be yourself, you definitely can't be anybody else. And it's authenticity or death, because to try to be somebody that you're not is only death to who you really are. And we are all created, uniquely. We've both had that conversation. No one else has your thumbprint or your fingerprint.
Absolutely.
So you were created with a purpose. Yes, you may have someone that looks like you. You may have someone that has the same amount of siblings that you do, someone that grew up in poverty, someone that has some of the similar backgrounds, but there is still no one that had it just the way you had it, or who handled it just the way you handled it. You have your own unique style, your own unique self. And the first rule to leadership to me is to, number one, know who you are. Have some emotional intelligence and some self-intelligence to know who you are and experience the freedom of being who that person is. And leadership is more than just leading an organization. I think it starts at home. It comes with, take the word lead, L-E-A-D, love, unconditional love for yourself and for other people, education, educating yourself, educating others with what you know, E, empowerment, knowing that you can be anything that you want to be and helping your children understand the same. A, acceptance, accepting yourself for who you are and accepting others, and promoting acceptance over tolerance. I don't want to be tolerated, D, continuous development and directing and delivering and delivery. And, E can also be execution. We talk about what we want to do, but it's the follow up. It's the execution that really matters. So everybody's a leader in their own right. Number one, who are you leading? What's the fruit of your labor? And are you doing exactly what you want to do? Are you living your life according to God's plan for your life? Are you authentic? Are you truly who you are?
having said that, so what gave you the passion and the drive to kind of start this Leadership Academy? Because what's the name of your academy?
Premier Leadership Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just passionate about leadership. I'm passionate. I just think, that number one, don't believe the hype. Leadership is more than a position. We all have a sphere of influence. So if you put yourself in the middle of that circle of people that you influence every day, the people who are watching you every day, that could be a stranger, that could be the clerk at Walmart, that could be your children, your husband, your colleagues. You are a leader within that sphere. Anybody that's looking to you, you are a leader. So I recognized that pretty early on. Mm-hmm. And it always kind of disturbed me when people don't think that they're leaders. And I think there are a lot of leaders out here that are not good leaders. Mm-hmm. And so that's made me very passionate in helping people to identify the leader within them. And to work towards developing that person and that leader, forever. Because we all, no matter, Barack Obama can grow.
Can
he can. Yeah, he can. Yeah. We all can develop as leaders and get better as a leader.
I definitely can relate to that. Mm-hmm. Because, just starting this project and having this podcast, I'm growing even, by meeting different people and getting some insight from them. So talking about President Barack Obama, we're now in the political race and all that, and a lot of people are talking about Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Now, I will give you my opinion on Donald Trump. I mean, I think that he's a great business leader. Mm-hmm. I really do. But from a leadership perspective, I just want to know what your thoughts are on just the race in general and who seems to be a good front runner as a leader. Just putting you on the spot right there.
Would you think I'm not a leader if I tell you I'm not following it?
No, I think, okay.
I'm not. Because the way media projects they always have a spin to it. And so my husband reads the paper. And so I usually just listen to his version of it because I trust his version more than I trust the media. Mm-hmm. I think Donald Trump is a great businessman. From what I'm hearing my peers and others say, some of the comments that he's making, I'm not sure that leading the country with a very diverse population of people, different social economic statuses, just the dynamics of the people who make up this great country. I'm not sure that is the best fit for him. I think Donald Trump is authentic and he is being who he really is. And so kudos to him for that. But just because you're a great leader, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to lead any organization that you think you want to lead. And so I'm not really sure, who is the best fit for this country. Barack Obama is a tough act to follow.
Now I'm going to ask you another question. I know you're not following, but just based on your leadership skills, and then we'll go to break. But so we have a woman, and you mentor women and in leadership. So we have Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
So just give me your take on her and what you think about her.
Well, Hillary has been the president before.
I say that too.
We know that she ran the White House. She was behind the scenes. She's brilliant. She's very intelligent. She has experience. And I am so glad to have a woman that is really a real candidate. Mm-hmm. That she actually stands a chance of winning. And to me, she's the best, candidate for that party, just based upon the fact, not because she's a woman, but because of her experience from every angle in the White House, and I'm super proud of her. And it would be even better to me if it was an African American woman or any woman of color. I mean, that would really be cracking some ceilings and crossing some barriers and breaking down some steep hurdles. But I am super proud of her, and I think if any of them who are running could run it, she definitely could.
Great.
Very well.
So we're going to go to break, but the question that I have, and we'll answer it when we come back, is the world ready for a woman leader? That's what we're going to talk about when we come back.
Phenomenon with Tonia will be back right after this.
Validar, Flames of Camelot, is the first installment of an epic trilogy that follows the exploits of this mythical warrior as he journeys through time and space. Available at TatePublishing.com.
Hi, this is Chance Glenn. The best way to support the show is to buy from Amazon.com through our website at MorningBirdMedia.com. Everyone buys online these days, from school supplies to Christmas gifts, and everyone buys from Amazon.com. You can help us by clicking on the Amazon button on our webpage, then shopping as you normally do. There's no additional cost to do this, but a part of what you purchase goes towards helping the show. With it, we can keep this content coming the way you like it at morningbirdmedia.com.
Make your next event, workshop, or conference more powerful with improved networking for attendees and more useful analytics about those in attendance using Confab Analytics' new professional networking environment. Sign your event up with Confab Analytics and tailor our networking environment to suit your specific event. Your attendees simply download our free Confab app to their mobile device. Through the app, they are able to check in without waiting in line and can share key information electronically with fellow attendees. Using your custom Confab event portal, you can view and store analytics about your attendees, as well as send to them individually or as a group up-to-date information about everything going on at your event. They'll always know where the best networking opportunities are. By using Confab Analytics' professional networking environment, your attendees will have a better experience and be more likely to tell others about how good your event was. In turn, you'll have more meaningful data about your attendees, so you can give them an even better experience next time. Confab maximizes your event by making you and your attendees part of the network and a whole lot more. For more information, visit confabanalytics.com or email sales@confabanalytics.com. Confab, connecting the most important part of the network, you.
The Morning Bird Media Network at morningbirdmedia.com.
Welcome back to Phenomenon. Now, here's Tonia.
Welcome back to Phenomenon. Remember, you can follow me on Facebook at Phenomenon, and you can email me at phenomenon@morningbirdmedia.com. You can also see me on the podcast and rate me. And last podcast, I told you guys that you needed to go on the podcast, upload my podcast, and rate me. And you hadn't done that. So I need you to go to iTunes and go to Phenomenon with Tonia. Click on my smiling face and go to review and write a nice review. Okay, so now that we got all that out the way, the question before we left for break is the world ready for a woman president? So we're going to talk to our expert on that. What do you think, Dr. Kreslyn?
They weren't ready for a black president, but they got it. And so we are a flexible and an adaptable United States of America. Mm-hmm. And so, ready or not,
here we come.
Here we come.
I like that. Well, great. So now what I want to talk about is the conferences that you've done and kind of the conferences that you may have coming up and just, kind of, why you're here and doing your leadership thing. So talk to the audience about that.
You know what? I got so excited. So there are three phases of a woman's life. That's everything, and it's life, love, and leadership. Life can encompass so much, your finances, your work, your community service, any issues that you may be having. Love, that's your relationship with yourself, with your spouse, your significant other, your children, your man, your boyfriend, your play date, you know.
I need one. What is it?
Yeah, your relationships with whoever, but ultimately your love for yourself. And we just don't love on ourselves enough. We really do not.
Yes.
And we think we're doing something by pouring all that love out on other people, but you haven't even chipped away at the iceberg if you're not loving it yourself. When you start loving yourself, the love that you give to others is definitely just
now that was good right
off
there.
the chain. And then leadership. Again, I said leadership is more than just being in a high-powered position and all of that. A leader at home, a leader in the grocery store, a leader wherever you go. And so that's the focus of the conference is Life, Love, and Leadership, the L3 Women's Empowerment Conference we had last year. And thinking about taking it to New Orleans, you know, just kind of on a small scale. It's not, I can pull 100 women together in 2 weeks.
We get on the train.
Yeah.
Get on the
Train and
go to
head
New
down
Orleans.
there. Absolutely. Because I'm ready to just really make this footprint across the nation, not just here in Huntsville, Alabama, but there are women all over the world who want other women who really have a heart and a passion to see them grow. You know, there's a lot of people using the word empower. A lot of people using the word. But do you know what that really is? Is not, empowerment is not about you. Service does not mean serve us. It's not about you. It's about you helping other people tap into their own power and letting them shine, even if you have to sit back in the background.
It's the phenomenon experience.
Yeah. And that's what empowerment. So we have a lot of people that's, you know, using empowerment like, I'm powerful. But you are. But your empowerment is about the power of other people.
Right.
And helping them tap into that. And so I just get fired up and excited about that. You know, as an African-American woman, I think about the number of African-American men who are in prison, who are unemployed, who are fatherless and caught up in this vicious cycle of not being productive because of the life experiences that they've had. And I know we're in this society now where women are turning to women, and that's not my option, and I ain't knocking anybody for that. But I think it would be helpful if we could some kind of way empower the woman at home that's raising that son by herself, you know, to invest in that child, get him connected with another man, or learn more about how to raise a boy, so that we can break this cycle and to ensure that our families can be stable for that generation and beyond.
Great.
And you know, it just, being an educator and knowing that prisons are being built based on third grade test scores. If the kids, they're saying that if the kids are not reading by third grade, they won't be reading by 12th grade. And if you look at the reading levels of people in prison, a lot of them can't read past the third grade level. And so, you know, we've got to empower the woman. You know, I'm a woman. I'll let the men handle the men. So let the women who are strong enough and who are empowered, let's empower the other women. And hopefully as a byproduct of that, we will still save our boys that are being raised by these empowered women.
Right. So that's what your conference is basically.
It's all about life, love, and leadership. Being a leader in your home, working on those relationships, and addressing the life issues that we face on a day-to-day basis as a woman.
Awesome. Now, there's something else that you're doing that's special and that has been special, too. So you have a book or a couple of books.
I do. I have Fear Factor. It's your 21-day journey to freedom. And it's a 21-day devotional with scriptures and just daily readings on overcoming fear. And then it's not, you know, I'm an educator too, so it's not just something you read, but you have to answer questions, because as long as you're reading what I wrote, I mean, that may help, but until you take ownership for yourself and say, I will overcome this, this is something that I've been afraid of, but this is what I'm going to do next about this, then it has to become your own. So that's
awesome. I'm excited because, you know, my motto for the show is feel the fear and do it anyway. So everybody that's listening, so how do they find out how to get your book? Because everybody that's listening to me should be trying to buy that book?
Absolutely. www.drkreslyn.com. DrKreslyn. No period between Dr. and Kreslyn. drkreslyn.com. It is also on Amazon. And in a few weeks, somewhat of a sequel will be coming out, and it's Fret Not, Determined to Live a Worry-Free Life. And it's set up the same way. It's 21 days of journal entries on getting past worry, and it's based on Psalms 37. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, for they shall be cut down as the blades of grass. And in that book goes on to tell you to commit your ways to the Lord, trust in the Lord. So it doesn't only tell you not to fear, but then it tells you what to do.
Wow.
So sometimes somebody will say, don't run up the stairs, but they don't tell you how to walk or why you should walk. And so that's what Psalms 37 does. And so that whole thing is based upon Psalms 37. And we're, as women, we're going to get past fear and worry one way or the other. We got to feel the fear and do it anyway, right?
We got to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned Amazon, and I know you guys have probably heard on the commercial that you can go to our website, www.morningbirdmedia.com, and there's a link to Amazon. So that kind of helps us out. So if you can go, when you buy the book, go to our website and go to Amazon.com. It doesn't cost you anything extra. So just go out there and get Dr. Kreslyn's book. I'm excited for that and all the other things that she's doing. So kind of wrap up and tell us everything else that you're doing.
Okay. So we have Fret Not that's coming out. And we also have a devotional. I haven't titled it yet. I would love some feedback for titles. So let me tell you what it's about. It's a 40-day prayer journal. It's got 40 days of devotional. It has a morning prayer and night prayer for 40 days. And it's women praying for women. And so the hashtag that I've been using as it pertains to that is I Am My Sister's Keeper. And so follow me on Facebook, Dr. Kreslyn. Also Premier Leadership Academy. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Periscope and Instagram at Dr. Kreslyn. And anything that you have to say that's uplifting for women, hashtag I Am My Sister's Keeper. And if you have any ideas of how I can, title this book, send me some ideas. I'm open. We have a magazine coming out, Powerhouse magazine for the leading woman. And the focus will be life, love, and leadership. That's coming out in September. I also have another book that's coming out in the middle of the year called Breathe and Push. And so for your dreamers out there and people who are on your entrepreneurial pursuits and things have gotten really hard, when you're in the final quarter of things, it's time to breathe and push. When you think about having a baby, the first trimester, you get that vision, you figure out I'm pregnant with something. It's good, it's big, and you're so excited. And you start getting into that second trimester and, you get a little uncomfortable. You're getting fat and, you're getting stretch marks because you're stuck between where you were and where you're going. And, but you're still pushing on. And then you get into that third trimester and you got sleepless nights over that dream. Is it going to happen? Am I doing the right thing? And all those kind of things. But all of that you go through doesn't even prepare you for the moment that it's time for you to give birth. And it's in that moment that you have to breathe and push. And the people that started out, maybe even the one that got you pregnant, may not be in the delivery room, but you still gotta breathe and push.
Now, I like that.
To give birth to that dream.
I like that. I don't know what trimester I'm in with my business. I'm like, I don't know. I have sleepless nights, then I'm uncomfortable. So I'm definitely looking forward to I'm looking forward to your book. Yeah. I'm so excited to have you on the show. I told my guests at the first show that this is my phenomenon experience. So everybody that's going to be on the show, they're helping me. So they're going to see me walk through the things, and now they're going to see you walk through what you're walking through. They're going to support you as well. And so I'm excited that, we have these connections, and I talk about having connections. Connections are like for a lifetime. Now, some connections, are meant to be broken, but some are meant for a lifetime. And so I believe that, the people that are going to be on the show, namely people like you that are in leadership and have a niche for women and have the call, are going to be lifelong connecting partners to the audience, because everybody knows now that, they're phenomenal. You know, everybody knows that, you know, I talk about the fingerprints, but there's also the iris in your eye. I just found that out. When you go to Dubai, they actually take a picture of your eyes. And nobody has the same iris. So that was awesome. That was really awesome to know. So Kreslyn has beautiful eyes. So if you guys see her, so I'm going to post a picture up on Facebook so you can see her. But I'm so excited to have you on the show. I'm so excited about what's getting ready to happen in your life. So, you know, I want you guys to follow her on Facebook and Twitter. And I hadn't got to Periscope because I have no idea what that is right now. Twitter and everything else. So she's going to be my life coach. And tell them a little bit about, you know, you have clients that come to you and that can be one-on-one. So talk about that.
Absolutely. I do one-on-one life coaching, life and leadership coaching. So it just depends on what your interests are. If you want to grow as a leader, or if you're just having a little situation in your life that you're trying to get through, I do life coaching as well. One-on-one. I can also do small groups of 3. But usually if you all are working towards the same thing. Okay. But if it's very individualized, it needs to stay one-on-one. I have a couple of principles that my model is built upon. One is truth. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else.
That's right.
Breathing. Sometimes you just have to take a minute and exhale to get to your truth. You know, drop your shoulders and just really let it out, whatever it is. Integrity. Uphold your word. You keep your end of the deal. I keep my end of the deal. Dreaming. For once in your life, you can sit down and you can dream again. I don't care how big it is. I don't care if you're 50 years old and you had a dream of being Miss America. You know, well, let's see where that dream is taking you today. Let's see what that might look like today. And we dig deep. We dig deep. The accountability part is there, and I ask for permission up front. Can I push? Because that's the only way. You know, we have so much baggage and so much blockage there. I'm a pusher, and so everybody's not for me, and I'm not for everybody. And so my consultation is free. You can't hurt for that, but you can email me at drkreslyn@outlook.com and CC my assistant Regina at placademy.net. Regina at placademy.net and Dr. Kreslyn at outlook.com.
Wow, this was great. I'm so excited. I'm hyped. I'm looking forward to reading all the books, and I'm looking forward to talking with you again, because I'm sure you're going to be on the show again. And so to all my listening audience, I want to thank you for being on Phenomenon with Tonia. Remember to follow me on Phenomenon on Facebook. Go to Phenomenon at morningbirdmedia.com if you want to talk to me and chat, and if you want to be on the show, and go to www.morningbirdmedia.com just to check us out, and check out Amazon.com. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.
This has been Phenomenon with Tonia. To learn more about the show, visit morningbirdmedia.com, or you can email at phenomenon@morningbirdmedia.com. Also, check out Facebook under Phenomenon. Come back and join Tonia as she helps you feel the fear and do it anyway.